Riddle me this, Mortgage Patriot Nation. What do you do if you have an existing home that you need to sell and you want to buy a new home, obviously, because life circumstances are such that you have to have a bigger home. Maybe you're welcoming a third child into the family, you need that fourth bedroom, or maybe the reverse is true. Maybe you have some high schoolers that are now in college and you're stuck with a big home that you can no longer upkeep and you just don't need all that square footage. Whatever the life circumstances throw at you, you need to buy a new home, but you can't qualify for the new home unless you sell your existing home because you can't carry two notes at the same time given your income. What do you do? I'm going to solve that riddle for you in this video, and I'm going to show you all the benefits and the ease of a new solution that's going to really make an impact for you if this is your circumstances. So let's kick off this rodeo right now. Hi folks, Kevin Fagan here. I'm the Mortgage Patriot on your side, nestled in the hill country above San Antonio, serving proud Texans all across the state and great families and individuals all across our country. So before I get into it, if you would like and subscribe, please, this video, it really helps me and it helps you as I try to build more content on the YouTube channel. It allows me to put this content in front of you and really benefit you in all matters of real estate buying and selling and financing of residential homes. Let's get into this video content right now. So as I go through this video, stick around to the end. It's not going to be a long video, and I want you to see a real life example of what I came across recently with a nice couple here in San Antonio, because about 55% of the people, per the statistics, cannot qualify for two mortgages at the same time. They need to be able to have a solution instead of having to sell first and then buy later. They need a buy first, sell later solution, which most people do not have. And so this video is going to show you who qualifies for the buy first, sell later scenario and what are the benefits. And then finally, we'll give you that real life example and you'll be able to see the value that hopefully this will bring to you if it fits your circumstances. So let's restate the problem one more time before we get into the solution. And that is, if you're needing to buy a new home for life circumstances, as we mentioned earlier, you will have a difficult time qualifying for a new home if you haven't already sold your existing home. Why is that? Well, because you can't afford, given your income levels, to support two different mortgages at the same time, your existing one and a new home. Frequently, one solution to that, which really doesn't work when you make an offer on the new home, is to make what they call a contingent offer. What is a contingent offer? A contingent offer is to say to the Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I would love to buy your home for whatever amount of dollars you're offering for, but I need to sell my home first. So can we please go under contract and don't show it to anybody else while I try to sell my home? Well, you can imagine that's kind of a weak offer, because if you get two offers that are roughly the same, one is contingent, yours, and one is non-contingent, which party contract do you think they're going to go with? They're going to go with the non-contingent offer. So we're going to show you a solution now of what we're going to call buy first, sell later, because there's a couple of national programs and they call themselves different names. So we'll call it buy first, sell later program. It's going to show you how to create a non-contingent offer by means of wrapping up your existing home with this new program. So let's get into that right now. So who qualifies for the buy first, sell later programs? The criteria is fairly simple and straightforward. You have to own an existing home. Your existing home has to have about 30% or more equity in it. So if you have a $300,000 home, for example, you would need to have a loan balance of less than $210,000, because $300,000 times 30% is $90,000 minus 300 is 210. So if you have enough equity in the house, then that's number one. Number two, you have to have a FICO score of 620 or higher. Shouldn't be too tough. If you don't have that and you have enough equity in your home, I can help you increase your FICO scores in a short amount of time. So don't sweat that part too much. But if you're over 620 to begin with, great. Now, thirdly, you have to qualify for a new loan, and you have to qualify for it on the basis of a conventional loan. Currently, the programs are not available for a VA loan or a FHA loan. So you must be conventionally qualified with a 620 score or better, and you are good to go at that point. So how does the buy now, sell later program actually work? Well, let's say you've targeted a new property and you want to submit an offer. And again, like we said, you don't want to submit a contingent offer because that's just not going to fly in today's environment. These programs will allow you to, they do basically internally, they do a bridge loan based on the 30% equity in your property. Remember, you said you have to have at least 30% equity in your existing home over your loan balance. They take a bridge loan on that equity. And then with that, they'll extend you any amount of money is necessary for a down payment, closing costs, and so forth. They also guarantee the mortgage payments on your existing property. So they've taken now that existing debt to income off of your balance sheet. And so you're only responsible for the new purchase, the mortgage payment on the new property. So you can now extend an offer that is non-contingent. Now you're in the driver's seat because you don't have to wait to sell your property. Now there's some stipulations, of course, like as there are with any program, one of which is you then have to turn around once you do get the house under contract and you move in, you have 6 months to sell your existing home. That shouldn't be too tough. 6 months to sell your home. One other stipulation is that your existing home cannot be in an obscure rural area. It must be in a major metropolitan area. Most of these programs cover upwards of 70 major metropolitan areas. So you probably are in good shape there. But again, if you're in a outlying rural area where there's not much demand necessarily for homes, you will not qualify for this program. So we'll do that work ahead of time to make sure that we don't even enter this type of situation knowing that your home couldn't qualify. We'll make sure you're qualified up front. Now let's look at the benefits of the buy now, sell later program. I'm going to show you the benefits of the program, and I want to remind you I have an example right after this. So stay tuned for that because it combines all the benefits of this program, and you'll see it in a hardcore real example of a couple that I helped out here recently in San Antonio. So the number one benefit, of course, is you don't have to sell your home right away anyway. You sell it on your own timeline. You have up to 6 months to sell once you get under contract and close on a new home. So think of that benefit just right there. Less stress, less hassle. We all know that selling a home or buying a home is as stressful as anything could possibly be. So we take lots of that stress off the table by saying, hey, you can sell a month later, 2 months later, whenever it's advantageous to you, you can sell your home. Major advantage right out of the gate. Another great benefit of this program that should be obvious is that there is no interim waiting area or storage area for your things. If you buy a home and then sell your home later, you can just transition straight into that new home. Move your existing furnishings right to the new home, rather than if you sell your home, of course, having to move your furnishings into a temporary, storage unit or somebody else's garage, for gosh sakes, whatever the circumstances are. So major benefit there. Lastly, a giant benefit, which I haven't mentioned yet, is these programs allow for you to also tap into fix-up cost for your existing home. Most of these programs allow for up to about $35,000 if you have enough equity in your home, remember, because they're extending some for a down payment, and they're also financing your mortgage payments on your existing home. But they're going to give you also up to about $35,000 to make fixings and upgrades on your existing home. So you can replace kitchen appliances, put in new flooring, paint walls, what have you, and that all will be taken out of the proceeds of when you sell your existing home. So you don't have to come out of pocket for that if you even had the money. So it's a tremendous benefit to be able to access funds for major upgrades and fixing issues around the existing home. So let's take a real life example of a couple here in San Antonio that I was helping out. They own a home they bought in 2018. They bought it for $215,000. They put 10% down. Now their loan balance after about 5 years is about $175,000. The home has appreciated to about $255,000. So they've got just right at 30% equity. They want to buy a home. We identified a home about $350,000, and they can't put a contingency offer down on it. We've tried that on a couple of homes before that, and we got summarily rejected. So we tossed that strategy aside, and I alerted them to this new program because these are relatively new. They've only been rolled out for the last 6 months roughly. So we went with this new buy now, sell later program, and they were able to get under contract and get qualified and get pre-approved and take ownership of this home. So they were able to transfer all their furnishings and so forth to their new home, and they went about with the business of trying to improve their existing home with about $20,000 worth of upgrades. They didn't have $20,000 in their back pocket, but they were able to access it from this program. Remember, you were allowed up to $35,000. So they used about $20,000 to put in some new flooring. They put in new contemporary light fixtures all over the home, some more contemporary paint colors and so forth. So really give it a great feel. And so rather than sell it for $255, we ended up selling it 2 months later for $280. With the help of a $20,000 infusion, they made over and above the $20,000. So that's just one giant benefit, again, of this program, is that you're allowed upgrade to the tune of about $35,000. And oftentimes you're going to get more than a dollar for dollar return. So they were delighted. I was delighted, solved everyone's problems. And that just shows you the power of this buy now, sell later program. So please do this. Make some comments. If you have any questions or comments for me, put those in the comment section below. Call me at 210-317-6514. I'd love to hear from you. And I do hear from quite a bit of you. So I love reaching out and being able to help as many people as I can. Again, I'm Kevin Fagan, the Mortgage Patriot, on your side, and make it a great one.